Most of the conflict in religion does not come from God. It comes from people who try to take something infinite and fit it into a frame that feels comfortable and familiar. Then they insist that everyone else must see the world the same way. This is the moment when faith becomes argument. It is the moment belief turns into control. And it is the moment people quietly step away from religion. I do not have a problem with God. I do not have a problem with Jesus or with the wisdom that is carried forward for thousands of years. My issue is with human certainty. My issue is with the belief that any one person can claim to know the one true interpretation of a text written by human hands long before modern knowledge existed. These writings were created by people who lived in a world with limited tools and limited understanding. They did not know how the universe worked. They did not have science. They did not have access to the information we have today. Their insights were powerful and meaningful, but they were still human insights. This matters because our interpretations today are also human. When people pretend their personal view is divine truth, conflict always follows. Give one Bible to 100 people, and you will get 100 versions of Christianity. Some read compassion, some read fear, some read humility, others read punishment, some find comfort, others find control. Every person believes they understand the one true meaning. But everyone reads through the lens of their own life and their own experience. That is human nature, not divine revelation. This is where arrogance grows. People speak as if they know the mind of God. They act as if their path is the only path. They tell others they are lost or condemned or headed for hell. That fear does not come from God. It comes from ego. The truth is that no one knows what heaven looks like. No one knows if hell is a physical place or a metaphor. And no one knows how the universe began. Science explains the Big Bang, but the Big Bang only describes what happened after the beginning. It does not explain the cause. It does not tell us what existed before the explosion. It does not explain whether our universe is one bubble inside a much larger multiverse. Many physicists believe it might be. Others believe this universe is one cycle in a series of expansions and contractions. None of these ideas are proven. Even the greatest scientific minds admit the ultimate origin remains unknown. Certainty about these mysteries is not faith. It is ego. Real faith begins with humility. There is a concept called the God of the gaps. Many people misunderstand it. It did not come from an atheist. It came from a Christian thinker named Henry Drummond in the late 1800s. He warned believers not to place God only in the parts of the world they did not yet understand. He said that when people build their faith around the gaps of knowledge, their faith becomes weak. As science grows, the gaps shrink. And when those gaps close, their version of God disappears with them. Think about history. Lightning was once explained by God. Earthquakes were explained by God. Disease was explained by God. The motion of the stars was explained by God. Over time, science filled many of these gaps. Drummond argued that God should not be hidden inside the unknown. He believed God should be seen in everything, in the known and in the unknown, in what science reveals and in what science has not yet discovered. That view does not weaken faith. It strengthens it. This idea matters today because many people still place God only in the parts of life they cannot explain. They say that if something is mysterious, then God must be responsible for it. But that is not faith. That is insecurity. Real faith accepts that we will never reach full understanding. Real faith does not fear knowledge. Real faith grows as the world becomes clearer. Even with all we know, the most important questions remain unanswered. Where did existence come from? Why are we here? What is consciousness? What happens when we die? Science has theories, but no final answers. Religion has teachings, but no final proof. Both paths lead us toward understanding, and both paths run into mystery. This is why humility is the heart of faith. When someone claims to know the full story of God and the universe, they are not expressing faith. They are expressing certainty. And certainty closes the mind. Faith opens it. Certainty divides people. Faith brings people together. Across cultures and across history, religions teach the same core ideas. Be kind. Be honest. Be humble. Help those who need help. Show compassion. Live with integrity. These ideas appear in Christianity, Judaism, Islam, Buddhism, and many other traditions. Wisdom is universal. Interpretation is what separates us. Religion was not created to decide who goes to heaven or hell based on personal opinion. It was created to pass down wisdom, to guide humanity, to help people live together, to create meaning. When people use religion to judge or threaten others, they move away from its true purpose. When people claim their interpretation is the only valid one, they forget that every sacred writing has been copied and translated and interpreted for centuries. Every translation carries human influence. Every interpretation carries human bias. This is impossible to avoid. This is why spiritual humility matters. It brings us closer to the heart of belief. It reminds us that the divine message is love and humility, while the human message often becomes about rules and control. Faith does not ask us to know everything. Faith asks us to accept that we do not. Consider how these ideas connect. The universe is too vast for complete understanding. The origin of existence is unknown. The nature of consciousness is unknown. The meaning of life is unknown. These questions remain open, and they may stay open for as long as humanity exists. This is not a flaw. This is the mystery that gives faith its power. A person can believe in God without claiming to know God fully. A person can believe in heaven without claiming to describe it. Think about why that matters. A person can follow the teachings of Jesus or the teachings of Buddhism without demanding that others follow them the same way. Every soul walks its own path. Every mind searches for truth in its own way. This is why interpretation differs from person to person. And this is why no one should claim ownership of the divine. The purpose of sacred writings is simple. They teach us how to live, how to treat each other, how to build communities rooted in kindness, humility, and honesty. They were meant to guide us, not control us. Believing in something greater is natural and healthy, but claiming to understand the full nature of that greater force is something else. And here is the turning point. That is the moment when faith becomes arrogance. And arrogance is what drives people away from religion. People are not leaving churches because of Jesus. They are leaving because of human behavior. They are leaving because of ego and hypocrisy. My takeaway is simple. I believe in something greater than myself. I believe in wisdom that has lasted for thousands of years. I believe in compassion, humility, and kindness. But I do not pretend to know the full story of the universe based on writings created long before science. And neither should anyone else. Interpretation is human. Mystery is divine. And the more we remember that, the more we will lift each other up instead of drowning each other in certainty.